All right, gang, it's sexy. A most fearful sacrifice. We're getting ready to start the 1 p.m. turn. Okay? Here, I'll move that counter down on July 2nd. I'm not sure how much farther I'm going to go with this because I need to get on to some other items. But I can't seem to take this darn thing down because I'm having too much fun. And now something unique is starting to happen. But before we get to that uniqueness, let's discuss what's going on up here around the town of Gettysburg. All right? All right. So first off, I got Deke from Northwest Pennsylvania called me out. I had moved 12th Corps out of they were breastworks here. I moved them forward, and when I put the counters back down for the breastworks, I had them on the hasty side. And Deke saw that and said, "Hey, you can't do that. They got to go away." And then when he said that to me, I looked back and I said, "Oops, I forgot to flip those things over to the right side." So I've corrected that. Thanks, Deke, for calling that out. So for you future players or ones that don't know yet, if you build a hasty work and the unit leaves, the hasty work's gone. But a breastwork stays for either side can use it. All right, so on the Meade, when he arrived on the battlefield, from most stuff that I've read, one of his first thoughts was, can we attack? Can we punch the Confederates in one of their flanks? And obviously this would have been it over here. So I said, well, they didn't do it. Let me do it. So I had 5th Corps and elements of 12th Corps and elements of the Iron Brigade. And let me tell you something. I'm wondering if this has really given me an awesome picture of what command was in the Civil War, trying to tie 3 separate parent units into the same attack. Because let me tell you something, it was not easy. And I can imagine on the battlefield, it was probably even harder. So the guys have done a good job with this, with these event cards and how to use these things properly. But I decided to punch forward with the 12th Corps, part of the 1st Corps, and the 5th Corps. 5th Corps' 1st Division come over this hill with a lot of artillery. And at first they did a damn on Early's left. But Early's units have great morale. They turned around and swatted, with some help from artillery, swatted that 1st Division from 5th Corps back over the hill. Then we got the 2nd Division up. And then we brought 12th Corps' 1st Division up. And then 12th Corps' 2nd Division into the fight. And we're probably going to continue that. Debating whether or not I want to bring some more in here. And I haven't made my decision yet on that, and I'll explain to you why in just a minute here. But Johnson's, which has got the Stonewall Brigade in it, Johnson's division, they got beat up pretty good, but they counterattacked back and threw some of these units out here. But you'll notice that the only shaken markers are sitting on the Rebs. None of the freaking Union units over here. Different story over here. The shaken units are all on the Union units and not on the Rebs. So we got an interesting little fight there. Harry Heath has decided to pitch his tents still where they've been since midday on the 1st. I need something to happen, but since you have 3 DP priorities, division priorities in 3rd Corps, the 2 important ones for me, you'll see in just a minute. Heath is in the number 3 slot. So I've either got to use one of those funny event cards to do it, or I need Lee to do it. All right? Speaking of Lee. So we all know the story about Longstreet and Hood and McLaws march and counter march, blah, 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 and getting into position late and starting the attack through Devil's Den to the Round Tops late in the day. Okay? We all know that story so very well. Now, in my case, I had initially thought about bringing 1st Corps around to Gettysburg. And then after looking at the defensive positions around Culp's Hill and Cemetery, I said, no, I'm not going to waste my time. The left looked a little more inviting, or the Union left looked a little more inviting, the Confederate right. Now, I pulled an Uncle Dan. Only I did it with old Winnie. And pulled 2nd Corps out to the front, put them in positions, some 3rd Corps units. I think there's some 11th Corps sitting in here and a little mixture of stuff, some artillery all over the place. Got some reserve lines back here. Had the cavalry out there in the woods. They got chased off. So what happened was, as you can see right here, is McLaws. He is around on the left flank of the Union line of 2nd Corps. All right. How did that happen? McLaws was over in here. Well, I drew the Lee card and activated McLaws. Then very next card that was drawn was 1st Corps, and I got a DP1 and DP2. So pretty much like getting 2 movements out of McLaws, and you can see what that did. Now, the 3rd Corps, 1 brigade of the 3rd Corps, or 1 division, I should say. I can't remember. It's a brigade. They were along this line here in Hasty Works. There's still 1 unit there. But there were 1, 2, 3, 4. What happened was this unit that was up here, the Confederates rolled 66 and a 6 on the red die. So the unit ended up with a skedaddle 3 result. Well, that hex was fine, but then he had to go through these units because of the other units that were in their zone of control, and it caused a big panic through this stretch right here, and they're kind of all scattered amidst here. So I brought Pender up, brought McClaws around, and Hood, boy, if Hood gets another, if I get lucky enough to get 2 out of him, well, let's see, he's sitting back. Here comes Hood right here, all right, with all of his stuff. I'm a little confused, too, because Law is in there, and I was pretty sure Law was late to the battlefield. But I've got Pender, who is very, very healthy, sitting right here. And I've got Anderson, who is completely healthy, sitting right here. And we're getting some artillery over here. And that could be a 4-division attack on this left side. And I'm going to tell you right now, not a whole lot of stuff coming on here. I think the Union's only got the 6th Corps left. And maybe a division or 2 from, let's see, they got a division from 2nd Corps, a division from 5th Corps, it looks like, and then all of the 6th Corps. And it looks like they got the artillery reserve, and Buford's already on the map. So while we're going to continue the fight over here, more than likely, because the Union's not doing too bad, I need to get some more force in there. I may need to yank some of the backups here. I may need to yank them out and move them to the left, and that's going to be a task to try to do that, like I say, when you're using these cards. Buford's already fallen back. His guns, Caleb's back, or Tidball's is up here. Caleb, Tidball, whatever it is up here on the little round top. And the cavalry's fixing to dismount and come back up on big round top. But fortunately, I do have a small reserve here and a secondary line from the 2nd Corps. They're going to have to shift. This is probably going to have to collapse, I'm afraid. I don't know how far I can stretch this. I'm going to have to yank stuff away from Cemetery Hill to get it over there. So, but like I said, we're getting ready to start the 1 p.m. turn. I got the cards somewhat shuffled. I need to shuffle them up some more. And we're going to get after, try to get into the evening of this. Like I said, I don't know how much farther I'm going to go with this. I got a hankering to get something else on the table and you do some catching up. Plus, I've got my Civil War series. I'm playing that Fort Donelson game. I need to get on that too. But this is enjoyable. And I know that Hermann and Claude and Fred, I know that whole gang, I'm sure they got some more coming up with this. I want to say Herman's talking about, he had thought about Antietam, but he's talking about maybe Chickamauga since he lives close to there. Doesn't matter to me. Whichever event they choose through the American Civil War, they put it in this system, in this configuration, and I'll be all over it. I'm sure a lot of you all will too. Great game. Simplified system. I'm getting some really decent results out of this. Nothing that, it's a game. So, and who was it that said it? I think it was Herman that said it. Once you make the first move, it now becomes a fantasy game anyhow. Because you change, you're going to change something. Like, for example, for me, McClaws and Hood, it's only getting ready to start the 1 o'clock turn, and McClaws is already across Warfield Ridge. And Hood is barreling down that way. He's going to be along their sword, which beats the hell out of starting at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So this could be something that changes the Confederacy's opportunity on the second day. Don't have a lot of victory hexes taken. I think I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 taken for the Confederacy. But I'm pretty sure they're fixing to pick up a few more because I don't know. This is going to be a question of who moves faster over here. And then if I draw McClaws first, do I crash this flank or do I drive on these objectives? I got to make a decision. So, well, maybe I'll roll a dice or something odd. We go even, we attack. I don't know. All right, so that's Most Fearful Sacrifice. Like I say, we're starting the 1 p.m. turn on July 2nd. And I'm having a blast with this. So, like I say, if you got it, get it out. Play a small scenario. It wouldn't take you long to learn the system and how things work and how the cards are definitely much better than the chits. That if they've done the chit system like the blind sword system, I think you lose a lot in translation there. The cards, you got a lot more information on those cards. It gives you a lot of options to do things with. Get it out. Get it on the table. A Most Fearful Sacrifice. A Hermann Luttmann game from Flying Pigs Games this year. Get out and play it. Talk to y'all soon.